So it's been a good day trading day today. In fact, this week has been incredibly volatile. And the more volatile it is, the greater it is to be a day trader. So we'll talk about why we need well, it's obvious why we need volatility. But let's talk about how you can find volatile markets and how you can really exploit them. Okay, so I'll just go through a few slides and then we'll get going on the detail. So the scalp system is actually older than 10 years. It's, let me think, it's probably closer to 15 years now. So the whole point is that what I'm doing with my trading and what you could do with yours is to use a system. The whole point is it's all about having a system. If you have a system, if you have a specific method to trade every day, you do the same thing every day in the markets and expect the same results. So therefore, if you have a system and that system is a good, profitable system that is easy to understand, then you should better use that, go into the markets every day and make a profit. So we're going to talk about the basics of what the system is and how you can use it and how you can make money and an income from it. So the whole point is that, yeah, as I said, the whole point is that you are on autopilot. So when you go in the markets, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, should I buy this, should I buy that? You are going in with a very specific system, and it's like driving. When you learn to drive, you've got to on a manual car, you've got all the foot controls, indicators, all sorts of things. You've got to look left, look. You've got to do all sorts of things. It seems like a nightmare at first, but once you've learned to drive, you do it instinctively, and that's what the system does. That helps you trade instinctively. So if you just joined us, I'll just listen in, and we'll. I'm going to get to some specific setups in a minute. So as a day trader, what I don't want to do is sit at the screens all day long. I mean, that's just not on. You'll start making mistakes if you spend too long at the screens. And the sort of things that a lot of inexperienced day traders do is they trade too much, they overtrade. Maybe they take a loss and they revenge trade, all sorts of things. I've been there and done that and got the badge. So it's only when I developed this system back in 2005 that things really sort of just came together and worked really well for me. Now I prefer the New York session, which is 2:30 UK time. Oil tends to quieten down about 7 p.m. Yeah, but you don't need to be around all this time. And there are just specific parts of this day that you can exploit. And so the Dow's open at, well, the US markets are open at 2:30. Nasdaq is earlier, and then that closes at 9 p.m. But what I'm concerned about, what I trade, is the open. So we're looking primarily at the start of these sessions. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to find out what the trend is of the session and trade that accordingly. So I'm not necessarily looking for the trend of the week or the month. I'm looking for the trend of the session. With the volatility that we've got at the moment, we're getting anything up to 500 to 1,000 pip moves some days, and today is no exception. Well, this week alone we've come up, or we'll talk about that in a minute, but we've come up from incredible support levels back into last week's resistance. So phenomenal opportunities out there. Let's tell you what, let's take a look at the markets now, and then we'll talk about how I day trade. Just need to go back to the other screen because I don't want you to see all this mess. What I want you to see is my day trading screen. Right, so let's talk about the Dow first. Now, I'm assuming that most of you who are interested in day trading have some sort of technical trading knowledge, or perhaps have traded for a while, who knows. Some of the guys in my trading room have traded for 10, 20. I had one guy in my room not so long ago has been trading for 35, 40 years. Trading at quite a high level as well. So, although this is a daily chart, so you know, why am I showing you a daily chart when you're a day trader, I hear you ask? Well, the reason why I study the day trade, so the daily chart in detail, is because I really need to know exactly what the markets are doing. I need to know exactly what that daily chart is telling me so that I can really exploit this move. So all I've got here is a daily Dow with support and resistance on it. It's as simple as that, and an 89-day average. All we've done so far, so last week we had this sell-off. It came from 27,600, and we gapped down at the weekend. It came to 24,500. So what's that in total pips? Nearly 28,000. It's around about 4,000, 4,000 pips, 3,500 pips, I think it is. So incredible. So huge volatility. I mean, if you look back at this is the new norm, because normally you would get these little daily bars and these little squeeze patterns, and you get, you know, there's a bit decent down day on the 5th of August last year. Otherwise, you know, these markets are this is the old norm, incredibly, you know, fairly light, thin markets. But these days we are getting, since the virus situation, we've got incredible whip. So there's the breakdown in February, and on this day, when was it? On the, I can't remember which day was it. It was back here. Yeah, in that's it. 13th of February. I did a screen grab of the charts to my trading room, and I said to everybody, these, at the very least, these charts, these markets need a very big pullback. So be warned. And you know, I've got a track record of picking these big reversal periods. Reversals in markets are where the real big money is made. Otherwise, trend trades, you can definitely have a good, healthy daily income. I've been around the block a bit. I got a few grey hairs, so I was trading in the late 80s. I sold 80% of my share portfolio 2 hours before the US September trade balance figures came out, and the whole 87 crash kicked in about 3-4 days later. During the 07-08, obviously I'm a Brit, so my account is in sterling. I was one of the things I was doing was buying gold using a dollar account. So the dollar was getting pumped up, the pound was dropping hard. So if you are buying gold using a dollar account, and you're a Brit and your home currency is sterling, that's a double whammy, because you're making money as the by buying dollar and selling pound. You're making money by trading gold. So what we're looking at is we're assessing the market, trying to exploit these big moves, looking for support and resistance, and then what we're doing is we're opening up the markets. We're waiting till the market opens up. This is today. I'm not that bothered about moving averages, but I'll leave it on this chart anyway. And all we're doing is identifying the first 10 minutes of trading. So the first 10 minutes in the Dow was here. And we're looking for whichever way it breaks. But that is our system. Now, how we actually trade that, how we take an entry from that, is we've got very specific methods of entry and exit on these charts. But that's essentially what we're looking for. We're waiting to get, there's the range. The range was pretty big. It was a 200 pip range. And we're looking to actually triggers short here. So then we look for entry short, and then we look for our exits are just basic support and resistance. So there's a support line under there. Once you break down here, this is resistance. So then we look to short that. And so if that reapproaches that line of resistance, then we would attempt to short that and see if we can get at least back down to the range. You can do this in Forex if you prefer Forex. I don't like Forex, but I don't trade Forex in the trading room. But let's have a quick look at how the pound has performed today. Let's see if you could do the same with the pound. So here's the pound US dollar on 10-minute chart. Let's look at the London Open. London Open was here. So they took it to where they didn't want it to go. It triggered short. Where's the open bar? Okay, so it actually triggers short. Then it actually triggers long, but ultimately, as the US opens, this is the US Open here, as the US opens, then it breaks down. So if you had this marked and you could see that level of resistance up there, and then you got confirmation of a breakdown here, then that is the kind of move that I would trade. Okay. Bear with me 1 minute. So that's the basic of the system. That's not the exact system we use, but that's the basic principle of the system we use. And that's what we're doing today. Let me show you what we were doing. So we traded gold today. Don't often trade gold, but I really like gold. Been tracking gold recently and bought it as a day trade. So we can see all this. Let's have a look. 2 o'clock. Let's go to the 2 o'clock range. Right, that's the 2 o'clock range. You get a 3-wave pattern support, and then you get this little mini break squeeze. If you catch a squeeze on a bigger time frame, they can be very, very powerful. But we bought support in the trading room. And then traded that to the upside. So if you look at the bigger picture on the gold, look at my daily chart on the gold, you'll see we've got this huge squeeze pattern. Let me just put that back in the middle of the screen again. So I've been buying lows up here, topping up on any pullbacks. And so what we now need to see on the gold, if this is going to really move, we've got to close above that pink zone, which I think we will do. Okay, so it's essentially what I'm hoping it is a huge bull flag. So there's your mast. Buying all those and waiting to see if we can break outside of that flag pattern. So confirmation is going to be up there, and if we do, I think the most likely scenario is 1800. Okay, so that's an example of the Dow, at the pound, and the gold. Now let's have a look at oil. We traded oil today as well. There's my daily pattern on the oil. Here is the 10-minute chart. Let's have a look at how the US opened. Let's find the 2 o'clock range. Right, there's the 2 o'clock range. So we initially fired long after 2 o'clock, dropped all the way back down to the support, and now we are potentially working our way back to 38.68. I'm long that one with the view on the daily chart. I think we can hit 40 this week. I think we'll hit 40 tomorrow, in fact. There's the gap. This is one of the few markets that's not backfilled yet. So 41.71 is the gap. This is the structure of the chart. So we had a squeeze breakout here in April 28. Bull flag up here in mid-May. Pushed up and then came back to support here in 28th of May. And here we are potentially making a run for that gap fill. Right, let's talk about specifics now. Let's talk about what you need to do to can you just have a quick show of hands? Who's actually day trading already? Who in the room is day trading already, just out of interest? Just want to find my pen again. There's a little chat box there. Let me go and find it. Should be able to see the chat box. Swing trading, not day trading. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you can, as a mainly equities. Okay. Look at those. Yeah, we'll take a look at those stocks in a minute. One thing you can do is, as a day trader, you can pick, excuse me, you can pick your spot as a day trader and turn it into a swing trade as an investment. Well, that's what I've done with gold today. Excuse me, I've been topping up my trades in gold and then looking to see if that can break out. You're new, okay. Good. Well, yeah, like I said, as a day trader, what you should be looking at is, I would suggest the smallest account you should start day trading with is something like 500, and with a system like ours, our system is, according to some desktop research that was done using data over 2 years. Excuse me 1 second, just going to clear my throat. So with a £500 account, our system is in the region of 78% successful, because it's a very tight system. So the idea is, if you are taking, let's say you're taking, on average we take about 3 to 5 trades a day in the room. So it's a live room, we're all working together, we're all trading off the same system and all looking to take the same type of trades with the same risk. So if you're trading 3 to 5 trades a day, and let's say you get 1 to 2 stop outs, with a £500 account, you shouldn't be risking more than about £30 per trade on a small account like that. So that's okay, because you can trade, if you trade the Dow at 50p a point, how much money can you make? If you're trading 3 to 5 times a day on the Dow, our trades are generally in the region of about minimum 50 pips, and trade I did yesterday generated about, I think it was around about 400 pips. So the trade I alerted our members to yesterday generated £200 on a 50p a pip trade. Now let's say it's they got a stop out. Let's say that a trader went wrong. Well, the sorts of margins that we're using, sort of stops we're using, and the sort of cost of a stop out, a trade going wrong, that you would experience based on this 50p a point, you would only lose around about £15 on a trade at 50p a point. And so the risk reward ratio on yesterday's trade was £15 for a potential £200 profit. Now, the sort of volatility we've got at the moment, that is relatively easily attainable. So if you made £100 a day, say, that's 500 a week, 2,000 a month, and 24,000 a year. That's the kind of, that's assuming that you have a modest day and you're trading 50p a point and getting 1 to 200 pip moves. So, and that's trading only between around about 2:30 to normally about 4 o'clock is the peak period. Normally we can bank profits about in that sort of 90-minute period. So, of course, all the members have got the benefit of being in the trading room and watching me trade using a system that it's been developing over a period. Sorry, I didn't realize you've been typing questions in. Let me. You want to begin day trading? Okay. You recommend position sizing on? Yeah, basically, good question. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for your question. That's great. I'll answer them all in a moment. I'll particularly look at some of those stocks you're in as well. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what size account you have, as long, like I said, as long as you've got, I think a reasonable minimum, like I said, is £500 a trade. So you really mustn't risk more than around about the 3% per trade. So if you've got a £5,000 account, obviously you're going to be trading on a different level. But the most important thing about this is your risk management. Because that's where, if you do not have risk management, you could lose a substantial amount of money. You could even knock your account out. It's risk management that is, and having a system that you can use every single day is what's going to keep you in the trade and what's going to keep you in the trading room, more importantly. So there's no point in, what, again, a novice mistake is to start trading. Oh right, I've made £200. I know what, instead of 50p a point, I'll go £3 a point. So all of a sudden, instead of risking £15, you're risking £45. Oh look, I've got stopped out. I've lost £45. I must win that back. I'll go in again. I'll keep it at £3 because I can make my money back quickly. And you lose another £45. So if you're trading on your own and you're not using risk management and you don't have a system that you can follow, you could wipe this out very, very quickly. And I'll be totally honest about that. Obviously you are putting your capital on the table, so you need to be very specific about how you're going to manage that account. So what I'm looking for is people to join us who want to use a system, who are prepared to follow the rules in terms of how you enter a trade and how you exit a trade, and particularly how you manage your account. because if you do not have the discipline and the patience to manage your account, then you could lose money. Okay, so let me answer some more of these questions. So the other aspects of what we do in our trading room is we also have an alert service. So if you want to trade, maybe you prefer to trade in the Euro session in the London Open. We have an alert system running. In fact, you can see somebody's sending me an alert now on Telegram. So we're in the Telegram room. It's a fairly quiet time of the day at the moment. People are sitting on profits or sitting on trades, just waiting for them to work out. So we have an alert system that works from around about 9 AM onwards most days. The whole alert service is operating from Monday to Friday. So it's a full 5 days a week. The room is open at 2:20 PM until roughly 3:15, 3:30. So it's not open a huge amount of time. I don't know why it's suddenly done that. So yeah, 3:15, 3:30. And basically what I'm suggesting you do is, if you want to join our trading room, everyone needs to go through a 4-hour program. It's a very intensive 4-hour program, runs us next Saturday morning, and it includes simulated trading. So we have live video, we have videos of our trades, of our live trades, and we so once you've done the 4-hour program and we've gone through the whole anchor system and the actual scalper entry system, then we do simulated trading. Once you've done that 4-hour program, then you're straight into our alert room, Monday to Friday alert room, and then you've got access to our live trading room for 4 days a week. So we actually open the room Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from, like I said, for the US period, for 2:20. So 10 minutes for the US Open. I run through the system, warn everybody what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, and then set the whole thing up. Okay, so if you want to come in, you need to, if you want to do the program, you need to have a basic knowledge of technical trading, and you need to be prepared to give up 4 hours for the intensive program on Saturday morning, and you're happy to and you want to trade with us for that US period. If you want to do that, I'll go through this now and I'll come back and answer some more questions in a minute. But if you want to do that, then come to tradetheeasyway.com and go to Learning Center and drop down to Scalper School. Okay, and here it talks about what's included in the 4-hour program. So we look at gaps, we look at breakouts, we look at retracements, we look at intraday reversals. Now that's an interesting one, because as I mentioned before, if you find a reversal, the reversals can be a huge amount of pips. Now, we normally get about 1 a week, and an intraday reversal is normally a minimum of at least 200 pips and can be 500 plus. So on the program, you learn about the anchor. Now this is crucial, because when we are looking at the open, we only take trades that work with our anchor system. So, for example, I've shown you examples today where the pound was, going one side of the open range, going the other side of the open range, and so on. The anchor system keeps us away from trades that go the wrong side of the open range. So if that's the open range, it triggers one side, then most times, not all, no system is perfect. I'm not suggesting for a minute this is a perfect system, but it is a sound system that has a backup anchor that stops us taking trades, most of the trades that go the wrong way. The gap strategies is, at the moment, given the volatility we got, is probably one of the most successful strategies because the markets are gapping extensively. So if you're not ready in terms of the basic technical training, then drop me a line and I'll point you towards our low-cost technical trading starter program. Well, in fact, it's here. It's on the same page. It's higher up. So this is the technical trading starter program. And then for those of you who are good technical traders, then join us in Scalper School. And so anybody who wants to do that, that's fine. Now let's just look back at, let's do an update on oil. There you go. So all that basic support is 37.45. That's 100 pips in oil. If you're trading futures like me, that's $10 per 1 cent move per contract. So when you graduate to what I would like you guys to do is graduate to futures trading and trading futures contracts, because it's much easier that way. So it's for every 1 cent move in oil, for one contract, it's $10. So if you're trading, when you graduate to the futures market, this move here, so you've got 50 cent move times $10. So this is a $500 move. Okay, so if you have a bigger account and you have several contracts, you are making decent money. So it's, as opposed to swing trading and investing, this is about exploiting leverage with a defined risk management strategy to exploit the volatility in these markets. Now, like as I said earlier, there are, just because I'm a day trader doesn't mean to say I don't hold. Of course I do hold. This is, day trading for me is just about an income. It's not about investing. But what I do is, on where I've got good setups that look as if they are, in other words, a setup like this in oil, where it looks as if the market could be reversing, as I said before, reversals can be very, very profitable, then I will hold it and I will trade it accordingly into support and resistance. So this trade was worth holding for, well, at least a month, because even in early June you were hitting, in early June you're hitting resistance. So that's only about 3 weeks, isn't it? So let's have a look at some of those stocks, because what you can do is, I do day trade stocks, not very often, because that's a completely different skill set, using direct access markets, which I have done in the past. I really enjoy it, it's great, but I just prefer these more technical, bigger markets like oil and Dow. Let's have a look at, so you suggested you were in Cine. I don't know that stock. Is that a UK, or I'm guessing it's a UK stock? Yeah, let's see, Cineworld, right. So Shashir, are you long this Cineworld?
Right. Cineworld, yes, I have been swing trading, well, sometimes day trading when it was heavily volatile, but I did swing trading. However, from my last 10 years of investing style, I'm basically long-term investor as opposed to trader.
Okay.
So today I have purchased it again at 80, and I'm going to keep it long.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah. So
What
fundamentally,
what is it? In terms of technical trading, in terms of that chart, what is it you like about that chart?
well, what I see in this chart is kind of trend which is moving upwards, and I can see a squeeze coming in.
Okay.
So I have traded between those up and down trends with 10 to 15% up and down profit. I don't do short sell. I've tried to do short sell twice and lost heavy money, of course.
Okay.
My risk management and
Okay.
position sizing was quite poor. Uh, but like I said, I'm going to keep it for long, given the current market situation is now improving. But this second wave movement, which is now coming up, if that kind of subsides, I don't see anything would be stopping
Okay.
Cineworld to move upwards. So
Okay.
definitely a long position.
Okay. I think if we open, and all I would say is if this, I mean, as far as it's not one for me, but that's not to say it's not a good trade. If we open and close underneath that level there, then watch out. That's all I would say.
Yeah,
We've got obviously a lot of support underneath it, but it's not. We're closed underneath this 89-day average. So I mean, it's made a decent. It's been up there at 100 not that long ago. Only what, last week? That's it. Last Tuesday. Yeah. So that's interesting one to look at. And you also mentioned MCRO. Anybody got any questions on day trading? So one thing you could do with this one is if you are at your computer during the day, if you see a trade you like, you could just range off a 60-minute chart. So you can see down here at 36.30 on the 23rd of March and the 6th of April, that this one was potentially turning up. Then we broke out. We actually gapped up on the 6th. I've got a few trades like this. I've got a few stocks like this that have gapped up and not pulling back. Once it gaps up, let's look at how it gapped up. Once it gaps up, as long as it holds that gap period, so we dipped back into this pink zone a few times, but then we subsequently broke out again. So as long as it doesn't close, or if you're taking a long, I would get your stop under 41 until it breaks, and then start to move your stop up and lock in profits. At the moment, it's a really gappy stock. Wow.
it is. Yeah, it's been very volatile.
Yeah, like I said, if that closes back inside 77, then just manage your risk. So I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to do was this. So yeah, if you are, if you prefer to sort of use day trading or use your time at the screen during the day to pick a spot for a longer term trade, then yeah, that's you can use a much more primitive, much more simpler system. But what I'm doing is, if you look at that, if we just look at that chart for a moment compared with the Dow, and the volatility and so on, you can see how I've marked up, and this is typically how I would manage a trade. So I'm using zones, I'm using breakout patterns. You can see the volatility in this is incredible. And this is much easier to short than sell. You make far more money shorting than you will going long in a market like this at times, purely from the point of view that once it sells, the trade's normally over in 1 to 2 days. You get a sell signal up here on the this was Fed day. So when Chairman Powell finished his speech, the market put in a sell signal. It sold off. So if you bought a pullback under that average, you would trade 27,200. 26, so it comes down a couple of thousand pips. Incredible. Okay, let's just have a look, quick couple of stocks, and then I'll finish up. We've got CCL.
I mean, honestly speaking, I don't really need to look at those stocks as such. I don't want to take time from other people as well. Those are the ones which I just mentioned what I've been doing. But I think I've got a couple of questions directly relating to your day trading and the weeks and the teaching, if that would help.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's day trading, which means you open and close positions within a day. You don't move them over to
most of my trades in my trading room they normally last between it can be as quick as a 20-minute trade, or it can be a 90-minute trade, but that's the average length of time. There are circumstances, we've got one particular setup in the room where we hold it into the close, and in fact we had such a setup yesterday. So we tend to take chunks out of the market in the middle sort of 90-minute period. But like I said, there are occasions where we do hold into the close and just close it into 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. So, and is that related to scalper school trading?
Yes, that's all trading momentum markets. Momentum markets like oil, Dow. I have been trading gas and wheat and beans. I'm just looking for the most volatile markets. If something's trending really well, or has put in a very significant reversal signal in one of these volatile indices or commodity-like markets, then I will focus on the market for a day, a week, or however long it's volatile. Okay. So rather than, for example, you can get situations where I haven't had a period like this for a long time, but you can get situations where the Dow or maybe even oil just gets very stagnant and range bound. They're not worth day trading. So we will then go and find another market that is worth day trading. But the likelihood of the Dow calming down and losing its volatility anytime soon is very slight.
Yeah. So how does it all work then? You said if someone joins Scalper School, they usually need commitment between 2:20 to 3:30 p.m., which is a little over an hour.
Yeah.
So do they watch you doing trading and copy them in their own portfolio? Or?
It's in a Zoom room like this, so they're looking over my shoulder as I prep the market at 2:20. So on a typical day, we would get together at 2:20. We would line the markets up. So we would set our anchor system up. I normally do this before the room was open, but I having set it up, I then talk all the members through what I'm seeing in the anchor chart. Now the anchor chart is crucial to it because, as the name suggests, it really anchors our strategy and our planning and thinking around what might happen in any one day. So that's point number one. Point number two is then we're looking at the open range. So we're waiting for the market to open. We're looking at how the market behaves in the first opening period, short period of the market, and then deciding on the direction of the market in that particular day. and then trading that accordingly. So that the other side of the market is gaps. The markets I'm talking about, oil, gold, Dow, they all operate very, very efficiently around the previous day's close. So if the market, in volatility we've got at the moment, the market tends to open some distance away from its previous day's close. So the direction, the gap has a major influence on how we trade and the positions that we take.
Okay.
So the more volatility, the bigger the gaps, the more opportunities there are, the more money we can make as a general rule. I guess if the market's not gapping and it's it's fairly, maybe it's had a big move, but it's not gapped. At least we can use our anchor chart to measure up where the likely breaks are.
Within that duration of 1 hour, how many positions do you think people end up opening or closing?
On average, in the initial, in the live trading room, between 1 and 2 on average, one or two trades.
And if you don't close those trades within hour and a half, then do you just put some sort of take profit or stop loss at the end? So that
yes, if we have one particular setup, it's one particular setup that we hold into the close, if that setup occurs, which it did yesterday. So before I close the room, I give people a specific plan with what I'm doing with if I'm still holding a trade, I'll tell everybody exactly what I'm going to do with that trade. Point number one. And point number two is if there is a second trade, on what is potentially a much more profitable setup, which is the one we hold into the close, then I will give specifics on the entry, the stop, and the target that I'm looking for. All of my trades have specific entry, stops, and targets, all of them. I don't go into trades and leave them open, and I'm very specific about how I'm going to enter, where I'm going to enter, and what my risk is.
Right. So do you always put stop loss? Because in this volatile market, sometimes
I always have. I always trade without stop loss. With a stop loss, yes, always.
All right. So even if the spike happens for no reason, this is in volatile, the spike occurs.
It's rare for me to get stopped out on spikes. Rare. It happens. But the system caters for potential extreme volatility, and no system is perfect, so it does happen. But the kinds of setups we have and the way in which we manage our stops is a very efficient way of getting the best entry and staying in the trade. One of the problems, but when you've got extreme volatility, is these are incredible markets. This is way out of whack with what you would normally expect. So gauging the entry on a day trade is absolutely critical. We have got to. My role as sort of a team leader, if you like, is to take everybody to the lowest risk potential entry and keep our stop. What I have been doing is, because this is so extreme volatility, what I have been doing is I'm taking half-size positions initially with not that wide of stops. On the Dow, something like 35-40 pip stops on half-size positions, and allowing myself to get stopped out if it goes wrong. But if I just made a poor judgment, if I made a mistake, and there is a second trade, which is quite, this sort of volatility, that is happening more, I have to say, then I'll go in with another half position, and that, once the market's settled, normally my second lot wins, and then I'll add to that winning position.
Yeah,
now that's the key to risk management. And what a lot of people don't do is, it's very, very rare for retail traders, like you and I, it's very rare for retail traders to actually add to a winning trade. But that's something that I will do. I will minimize. I would go in with a small risk. I'm using smaller positions in this volatile market, and I will take one additional trade if I get stopped out. And what's been happening is I might have misjudged the first one, but I very, very rarely misjudge two, so I can make my money back and more by adding to a winning position. And it's so it's that level of risk management and the ability to add to a winning position using an anchor system that is where our trading room does really, really well.
And is that all within the given time period?
A lot of it is. Like I said, if there's a lot more activity outside of our live trading room, then we've got the alert room. Well, let me show you the alert room. Hang on a second. I'll just do a quick screen grab of it. I don't want to give away any personal information or something. I'll just show you what we were looking at today. Where is it? Just trying to pick the key signal today. Gold I did in the, where is it? Yeah, where's the gold trade? Bear with me 1 second. Right, let me go and find the. Here we are. Right, got it. Right. Okay, so today I went long the gold at 1720. Stop 1695, target 1800. So on this particular, I give a swing trade position out. I guess once or twice a day, because I am telling everybody what I'm trading on stocks as well. I've been buying pullbacks in healthcare stocks this week, but that's typical of the alert room anyway.
Okay. So people end up taking position based on this alert at whatever time it comes.
And gold is currently $10 up from that alert. Currently trading 1730.
Yeah,
so that is. Yes, so I suggested everybody gets in down here. Stop down here because it's a swing trade. This particular, the guys could have traded it as a day trade. Like I said, we're 10 bucks up from the call. So that's the entry. Anybody who wants to day trade it could day trade it to resistance. Otherwise, they can hang on, keep the stock out of trouble, and see if that can push higher. So that's an example of what we've done today. Or we've also traded the oil. Like I say, I traded the oil off of this 37.50 area. You can see the resistance that we got above us. So anybody who wants to day trade that can just take that off of that resistance. So you can see how the on some days, if the market is very volatile, what you can do is you can trade it both ways. You can, we quite often do intraday reversal, buy off support, and take. We're not looking to get every single move, but we are just looking to get everybody to get. If your target's £100 a day, then we look for people to, trying to support people to take a trade like gold, get a $10 move in gold, do whatever pound the point you're doing. Gold's you could if you trade £20 a point in gold. It's not that much leverage because the stop doesn't have to be. If you're day trading it, you could have had $5–10 stop on that gold. So that's how we exploit the room at the volatility in the markets. The other thing I've been doing recently, I'll just show you another chart, is the beans. Let's go to a daily chart. Here's what I was doing with the guys in the trading room on the beans. Huge amount of support down here at 820. So I was suggesting over the last, I'm not suggesting this at the moment, but throughout the period when we were reversing down here at 820, 840, I was suggesting traders might want to take that one. We've been looking at coffee. That's not working at the moment, so we're backing off coffee. This is how I've marked out coffee at the moment. I still think this is going to reverse, but it's not ready yet. So that's typically, so although we are day trading first and foremost, we want everybody to make a daily income out of the room, but there is the scope within what we're doing to trade other commodities and stocks and make a profit. Yeah, the date on the website is I haven't corrected that. The next one is this Saturday. So I'll go and correct that when we close the room. I should have done that already. The next scalper school is next Saturday. And what else was I going to say to you? Starter Point, it runs is video based now. In actual fact, Starter Point is video based. So if you want to do Starter Point, then I can, and you want more information about Starter Point, then let me know and we'll have a chat. Otherwise, I will email you all the details about the modules. It's recorded modules. I think there are 5 modules in total, and with the Starter Point you get some tools as well, some checklists and a template trade plan including Starter Point. So Starter Point is all you need to know to get swing trading, to get investing in this market.
What level of experience do you expect someone to have in
Experience?
order to yeah.
Because it's a system based, I've had some people in my room who've got little as 3 to 6 months experience. So because I'm literally teaching a very, very specific entry system, we have 3 different types of entry. One is very rare, one is very common, and one, two are common, one is rare, and yeah, let's keep it simple. Two are common type entries, one is rare. So we're only looking for two types of entries. So that's why it's easy and systematic. We're trying to make people robotic when it comes to scalping.
Okay.
The idea is that, you know, if the mechanisms that we need, the simple 3-point mechanisms we need, do not occur in a trade, then we don't trade.
All right. So is there any specific time period until when somebody would get subscription to this, live trading room as well as your alerts, or is that kind of lifetime once it's joined?
So can you just repeat that question? I just missed the first half of the question, sorry.
Is there any time period or any limitation for how long someone would be able to trade along with you during the live trading sessions every day?
Oh, you mean, for
Or is it
example,
lifetime?
do you mean if you can't, if you only got 20 minutes to spare or something? Is that what you mean?
No. What I mean is, I assume this joining your scalper school isn't free. You do
No,
charge
no,
some
no,
fees, isn't
no.
it? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So do people get lifetime membership to trade along
What
with
it
you?
is, yeah, good point. The initial fee, I will let people come in the room in the trading room for initial 2 months if they join up Scalper School. So the initial fee includes 8 to 10 weeks in, depending how long the months are, 2 months in the room.
Okay.
So that's 8 sessions a week. That's what I'm talking about. 4 sessions a week times 10 weeks. So we're looking at, so you'll be with me for 40 separate meetings, 40 separate trading sessions on average. And plus you get the 5-day-a-week alert system, the alert room, sorry, for a mixture of stocks and commodities and so on. And so there's a lot in there. You get a lot of support, you get a lot of my time, and a lot of knowledge from all my many years experience. But the main thing is what you walk away with is the ability to enter and exit a trade robotically. That's the whole point.
Okay. And the alert system, is that again stop appearing after 2 months, or
If you want to carry on, it's only £45 a month. I have been charging £100 a month, but I'm prepared to build the room up and just offer everybody £45 a month to come in the room. But after that period, after that 2 months,
okay.
join us.
Sure. It looks interesting. Honestly speaking, I've got a couple of more questions. I don't know whether you have time now or.
Yeah, no, fine. Yeah, I'll take another couple of questions and then we can, and I'll finish up.
Sure. Well, honestly speaking, I've been asking questions. I'm not sure if anybody else want to ask first. I've already taken quite a lot of time, so don't want others to feel like
Well, but yeah, guys, if you want to ask Dipendra and James, if you want to ask any questions, let me know. Okay, Dipendra, I'll send you some information about the starter, and if you email me from the website, or I'll give it to you. I'll quickly wrap it off here. I think I spelled that right. mike@tradetheeasyway.com. Yeah, email me Dipendra, and then I'll drop you the details. And you can, if you want to give me a ring, let me know. Sorry, Shishir, you was going to ask me some questions.
Yeah, sure. So do you use CFD or spread bet for your trading, and do you expect people to use exactly same platform? So they can mimic your trade during that short period?
Very good question. People can use whatever platform they like. They can trade whatever instrument they prefer, CFDs or spread betting. I use a combination of spread betting and futures.
Right. So if we, let's say, I don't know which platform do you use for this
Well,
one?
this platform, this chart package you're looking at the moment is Pro Real Time, which is linked to an IG Index account.
All right. Okay.
This is what IG Index called advanced charts, but it's provided by a company called Pro Real Time, which it's a really good. I really like it. It's a great platform, but it comes free with IG Index. That's one of the reasons why I suggest IG Index is just so you can get this platform free.
Yeah, yeah. For charting is free, exactly. But not for.
I don't think. I think if you go direct to Pro Real Time, I think it's a good 30, 40, maybe £50 a month to get all the data stream as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's well worth getting an IG Index account if you've not already got one. And you had some more questions for me.
Yep. So if I'm using some different trading platform, I can simply, whenever you place a trade, we can copy that same trade in our platform with the same stop losses and
yes.
or
Yes, I have come up against slight variations because IG Index are making their own markets. So sometimes the different platforms can vary slightly, but the point is you're marking your charts up in exactly the same way as I am. So if there is any variation, you should be able to tell that from the way in which you've marked your chart up.
Okay. So being
we're marking up our charts in a very, very specific way. The preparation we do in that first 10 minutes before the open is very, very specific. So if there's any variation, that should show through to you. That should be obvious to you when you copy the process.
Okay, makes sense. So on the screen in the live trading for that 1 hour, do you share just the chart pattern and the marking, or do you also share the amount you are entering in the pips and all those things, so somebody newbie can copy?
Because I've got so many screens and different accounts, I generally what I do is I only show the chart, but I mark the chart up with the entry point.
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows what the entry point is anyway because it's a very specific entry point. But I do additionally mark it up just in case somebody hasn't heard me or isn't quite clear. I do actually mark it on the chart, and I would typically on something like gold. Well, actually, the gold was in the alert room, so I can't count that. But I would typically, if this was a live trading room now, I'll just tidy all this up. I would, I would pinpoint the area I put and put a buy or a sell signal right up against the very price that I entered at, and I repeat the price about 2 or 3 times to make sure there's no issue to do with clarity.
Okay, because so green means buy. However, I can't.
Yes, and if I was shorting the market, then I would mark it with a red arrow. Yes.
Yeah, although I can't see the price from.
No. Okay. Well, I would have done it. Yeah. Okay. I would have said, right, I'm looking at. Oh, I tell you what, let's just move that. That's what you'd see on the screen. I'd be saying, I'm buying at 1720. I'm buying at 1720. That's the zone. That's the price level. If you're day trading it, that should stop. If you're swing trading it, that should stop. If your day trading exit is up here, the swing trading exit is up here.
Okay, and for how long this chart stays on the screen for someone to then put these figures in their own trading platform?
Well, that would certainly, if it's in the live trading room, it will be on the screen for. I'm not darting around charts. If that's, I'm not. I'm not doing a lot of multiple entries in the live trading room because that just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That'll be, yeah, people get confused, etc., etc. So by far the most popular chart, by far the most popular market I'm trading is the Dow.
Okay.
By far, that's my all-time day trading market.
Okay. And Dow as a current Dow is not the futures one. Because,
Yeah, so I would be showing I'd be showing this on the charts. I'll be showing this on the screen. Sorry.
Okay.
And this is only an outline of the system. That's not the actual system. That's just an outline of the system. Because the actual system is much more precise than that. But that's the basics of the system. So I give you an introduction to the basics of it today.
Okay. So the main thing, I've been doing training on trading, honestly speaking. It's a good 8 hours training. So I don't know whether your starter pack would teach something different from a usual training thing. But one of the two of the most important things were your position sizing and risk management. I do understand risk management by stop loss or taking small position versus big. But the position sizing, like I posted my question earlier as well, alongside the price you mentioned, you should buy or sell. Do you recommend position sizing depending on the amount of money you are?
Yes, I do. Only to the extent that I, when people come into the trading room, or through the program, we talk extensively about the whole module on risk management. So I expect people to have worked out what their risk management is during the course of the program. But what I do is, because of the extra volatility we've got now, I will specify whether I'm taking a half size or a full size position on a trade. I do vary that depending on the scale of the volatility. This is quite a volatile day, so I was suggesting half size positions on a day like today.
Right. Okay, makes sense. And I believe that's going to be a spread bet account, not the normal trading, because you can't. There's no benefit not using leverage.
Yes, most people in the trading room are either doing spread betting or CFDs. Most people.
Okay, so which means when you said put a 50p per pip, that's more looks like spread bet to me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because you can do that with CFD as well, but yeah, most people are just trading spread betting or CFD.
Okay.
I use Interactive Brokers. You can see the Interactive Brokers icon down there for my futures account.
Right. Okay. I've got SpreadX account, although I don't use it much.
SpreadX, I don't know them. I've never heard of them actually.
Oh, okay. This is trading 212 and SpreadX, but SpreadX is a bit more.
Trading. I've heard of 212.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I think somebody in the room was trading that the other an account with them.
They're no good though, because they recently moved all the indexes to futures. You can't trade in the real-time indexes. Yeah. So if you're buying Dow, it has to be Dow futures, S&P futures.
Yeah, right.
It's no good. I'll probably need to open up account with a different platform.
Right.
And so I was asking, if we happen to have the same platform as you do, then it makes much more sense.
Well, yeah, I like I said, I would recommend everybody gets. I'm not. You do not have to. I've got no vested interest in people having an IG Index account, but IG Index have got a very big spread of markets. You can trade all sorts of UK, US, and overseas stocks, as well as all the commodities and so on. So, and the spreads don't seem to vary much these days, do they?
Yeah, I think they are pretty competitive in that sense. For spread betting and CFT, they don't charge any money either. Their commission is baked into the spread they take.
Yeah.
But that's pretty competitive. It's not like
yeah,
over the top. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you kind of answered my question. I was looking to move to IG platform for the same reason. I wasn't quite pleased with trading 212
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And also, I very rarely have problems with IG. And if you, I haven't rung them for a long, long time. I've had an account with them for years. I can't remember the last time I rang them. I just don't. There's, on a very, very rare occasion, their platform does go. You know, they are susceptible. I think the last time the platform went down must be good 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, there was one day, long, long, long time ago, where you just couldn't trade all day. Actually, no, I think the platform was out for about 2 or 3 hours.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well,
But it was
that might happen.
about 4 or 5 years ago, and that was very, really, really rare occasion.
Ah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Mm.
Good.
Yeah, and the last thing is the alerts which you sent. Is that on specific application? But
Oh, the alerts I send is on an app called Telegram, which you can get on your desktop or your smartphone.
Telegram, which is the like a common application,
Yes,
like
I've
WhatsApp.
created a room in Telegram
Okay.
specifically for our group, and so it's the security is allegedly supposed to be very good on Telegram, so that's why I use it.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. And those sort of alerts are mainly for swing trading, not for day trading.
It's well, mainly most of the alerts are day trading actually, but I do put swing trading alerts in there. For example, I gave a list of stocks I was trading today. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. Hang on. So I have said today, some trade ideas. I've been short Domino Pizza since the highs. Looking to buy Rolls Royce. Been trading BT, but looking for some further downside on that before it next upside. I have a bear rating strategy. I love bear rating stocks. I've been bear rating bricks and mortar retailers for about at least 4 or 5 years. So I'm looking to short next at some stage.
Ah, okay. But it does include all the stop loss and everything though. So
Yeah, I put sort of targets in there and so on. Because it's there is a facility for members to ask me questions. So if anybody wants, if I've suggested a stock and I've not put stop loss and targets, then just chuck a question at me. Just throw a question at me.
right. Okay. Yeah. Honestly speaking, this sounds interesting. The reason I'm asking all these questions is I try to do trade myself, and of course, I wasn't quite diligent in my position sizing.
Yeah.
End up making loss, although I could have made profit easily, which I know. That's why if someone like yourself doing it alongside, I think that would be a good confidence builder.
That's the main thing. The fact I put all that time in to prep everybody before the open and put the time into wait until the market shows its hand and call the entry and call the exit. That's it's a big plus for everybody, and because you get to the point as well, because we're all working off the same system, we end up working as a team and looking out for each other on the trades. But yeah, essentially we are just following very, very specific tight system.
Yeah, exactly, and that makes sense. I like this 1 hour idea because I'm IT professional, so I can't allocate whole day just for trading.
Yeah,
I would be out of my job soon.
yeah. I used to open the room for the London session as well, but it takes a lot of energy to run a room like that, and I just got and I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, so I restricted it to 4 sessions a week. That's a lot of time and energy to do all the preparation, get the room open, bring everybody up to speed, wait till the market's open. So, so it's a big commitment on my part. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how many people have you got in this room?
It's a small unit. We've only got it's less than 20 at the moment.
And how long have you been running such rooms?
I've been teaching and running a room since 2009.
All right, that's a
I've
long
been
time.
I've been I've been trading since I've traded my own account since the mid 80s because I've got some grey hairs now, and started trading full time in 2005. So I had a previous career.
Ah, okay. And people are sticking with your live trading more than 2 months, or do they
I've
learn
had
and just
people,
move on?
yeah, I've had people in my room for 5 or 6 years. I've got one chap in my room who's been with me for I've lost count. Must be 7 or 8 years. It could be 7 or 8 years.
All right, okay. So it's definitely working for them, hence why they're
Yeah,
sticking for long.
yeah.
All right, okay, makes sense. Uh, up, I don't know how much information have you got on the website at the moment. I still have to open it, but
Well,
if there are any questions I can.
well, have a look at it, yeah, by all means, let me know if you want to have another chat.
Sure. Only thing is, I don't know whether you do any taster sessions for 1 or 2 days just to see.
No, because the reason why I don't do any free trials or anything is because to do the free trial, I have to teach the system.
Okay.
So I'd have to give away the system if I did a free trial.
Which is that 4 hours training you were talking about.
Well, that teaches you the system, yes, yes. But if you did a free trial, there's no point you doing a free trial because you won't know what I'm doing unless I teach you. So I don't want to teach you for free. So I can't do free trials.
Okay, understood. So that 4 hours scalper training, not the starter one, but the one after. Is
Yeah,
that what?
I've talked about two different programs today. The starter one is for beginners only. Well, it's not for, I say beginners only. It's for people who want to, um, learn my style of technical trading from scratch. And then the scalper school system is for the people who've got at least 3 months experience in technical trading.
Okay. And then it's mandatory to do that scalper training before we get on to the live
Yeah, yeah. Well,
live
as
session.
soon as you've done the Scout School program, then you've got direct access into the live trading room and the alert system.
Okay, well, that's been. And how much does it cost, by the way? Unless you.
Um, the Scalper School is 675, including 2 months in the room.
Okay, and after 2 months, it becomes 45 a month.
Yes.
Right. Do people end up recovering that money? Sorry if I'm being very straight with you.
Yes, yes, they do. Um, depending on, I mean, you should look to cover that fee. Depending on obviously what size account you got, you should look to recover that in a week or two.
Okay.
I mean, if it's really volatile, maybe you'll recover it in the first couple of days. I don't know. Depends on your.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's.
Well, today, for example, I called oil at 37.50. I've called gold at 17.20. I've been in and out of Dow for a couple of times. You should be clocking up 100, 200 plus pips a day.
Okay. But when you say a couple of times, it's all within that 1 hour period. It's not whole day.
Well, I'm talking about a combination of the hour in the room and any alerts I put out during that
Okay.
day.
Okay. Got
I'm
it.
talking about the sort of combination.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Cool. I think, honestly, I'm quite inclined.
Okay.
Like two things I need to do is open IG account
Okay.
so I can trade with Dow, and I need to understand their spread betting techniques.
Yeah.
All the pips and points and thingy. So, uh, is it the weekly program? You do nothing. You said next one is on Saturday.
Yeah,
The
I
other
tend to do
program.
them. It tends to do them every couple of weeks. When I finish up here, I'll go and update the. I'll put some dates on there.
And that's kind of a live training. Then it's not recorded 4
Well,
hours later.
it's people do come to me who can't make the Saturday or just want to get on the course quickly. You want to come in the room quickly. There is a facility where you could do it via video if you prefer.
Okay, makes sense. So I'll keep an eye on your website for the next available session.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll do the due diligence with the other bits and
Okay. Fine.
see how it goes.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Anybody else got any other questions? All right, I'll drop you a line. Thanks very much, Dipendra. James, did you have any questions? Good. All right. Well, let's leave it there. It's always plenty. You can always drop me a line if anybody wants to. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Okay. Have you logged in twice or something? Okay. Right. Fine. Right. Let's leave it there, and I'll I'll update you with when the next sessions are.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Yes, bye.